Super excited about Zamir. He's a guy that we knew once the pads come on that, he's going to show up, big, powerful young man that breaks tackles, that run behind his pads. So we are super excited about him. Man, I just like his tenacity. I just like his approach. He's very humble, hard-working, continue to work through this offense and learning. But, man, skies is the limit for him. But I'm very excited for that young man.
Dylan Laba is the guy that's getting some buzz here for a rookie just because I think of his versatility. But from position group standpoint, what are you seeing from him there?
Wow. Been a pleasure to work with Dylan. First of all, the young man mindset separates him from, a lot of people. I know I can remember many moons ago, 2005 being a rookie, and to me, honestly, I just think his mindset, he's better prepared than, I was. Just very cerebral, smart guy that can do a lot of things in the pass game, in the run game. He's a patient guy. He run behind his pass. He's quick. He's explosive, great hands out of the backfield. So excited for him tonight, the scrimmage preseason. So, he have a bright future ahead of him.
Is it a week-to-week basis or is it matchups depending on if you'd want a guy to be the bell fed to get 30 carries, or do you want to spread it out? Is it just a week-to-week decision or based on what's happening in the game?
Well, I don't really make those type of decisions, but I just think in today's NFL, you got to have different type of backs that can do, a little bit of everything, and that's what we have, man. Very diversity group of guys in the backfield, but we do want to spread the love. I think from Zamir to Deuce, to Dylan, to Amir. I think they all bring a little something different to the table. So the more that we can play to those guys' strengths, I think the better it'll be for the Raiders.
AP talked last week, without a true fullback on this team, but we've seen some of the tight ends go in there and maybe be the lead blocker. As a running back yourself, how exciting is that when you get a big body like a Brock Bowers, to run behind?
No doubt. Super excited for that tight end room. As you all know, they're good as advertised. So, being able to run behind those big bodies, guys who, play physical, they can get behind their pads and can move people. So I think that we, as in that RB room, man, excited to get the opportunity to truly run behind those guys.
And kind of what's the early evaluation of it, and just kind of, what have you seen so far?
I think they're both doing a great job. The competition's good. It's a great competition, but they're helping each other. They're cheering each other on. It's done the right way. They both, have their strengths. Obviously, Gardner has played a lot. He's got the veteran presence, but really Aiden kind of has that presence as well. He's a little older. When he graduated college, he played a lot of football last year, and he just kind of is a little older for, even though he's a second-year player, he just carries himself a little bit more like a veteran guy. So they're both very serious about, learning the offense. The steps that they've both taken from OTAs and the minicamp to now has been huge, and really that's the case with the entire offense. And, I think, they're both very good players, and obviously, that's not my decision, and coach will make that decision whenever he feels like the time's right.
How do you, in your role, having been here last year and kind of ushering this new offense with Luke, kind of maybe serve as a translator, for this install for what maybe Aiden knew last year?
Yeah, I think really we haven't been doing much of that just because when you have a full off season, and it's my history, and me, just learning it myself is just to kind of immerse yourself in it and not be oh, this is what we used to call that, and just kind of learn it as a new individual thing. And it's a little bit more difficult at the beginning, but it helps you to really master, because even if it's similar, it's different, and you don't want them to, and it might look the same, might even look the same on film, but the coaching points are different, or the way that we approach it or think about it now might be different. So it's better just to kind of, you still pull off of your experience of playing in the league and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the offense goes, it's better kind of wipe the slate clean and just kind of learn it from them.
That makes sense. And we heard Antonio talk a lot about, kind of chemistry and continuity, for the team and just camaraderie and everything like that. How has that quarterback competition maybe kind of exemplified what he's talking about as far as the teamwork and togetherness and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what the case. And really, like, obviously, like, we know what's where we play. We know that the quarterback is going to get a bunch of recognition, and it gets a lot of the attention. Like, you're talking to me about it right now, but like, we have a lot of competition on our team, offense and defense. But as far as like, guys playing and fighting for roles, in different starting positions, and opportunities, and I think that's just great. That's what this time of year is for, And I think we get excited, and not so much us as football team, but like the fans and the media get excited they want to see the finished product right now, and the really good teams and teams I've been a part of that have been good. It's about the growth, and where you start isn't where you finish, and not only in camp, but then you continue to grow and get better as the season goes on. And I've seen that. Like, I've seen that from our group, and we got a group of guys that are focused on that, which is cool.
And you've been around, obviously, many different organizations, different teams and everything, and you know what competition looks like, you know what camaraderie looks like, and the emphasis that was placed on it early in Antonio's tenure. Do you see that now that the competition has unfolded and kind of, like you mentioned, not just at the quarterback position, but kind of everywhere? Do you feel that?
No, absolutely. And now you got a little pitting during camp, it's pitting the offense versus the defense, and guys, trash talking, but that's good, and it's good. And guys, sometimes guys get a little upset, get their feelings hurt, and then you bounce back, and that's part of, kind of building a brotherhood on the team, but it's always done respectfully. Like I said, the guys root for each other. The defense might get mad when the offense makes a play, but they're fired up too, because they understand that, like, Coach Pierce says it, like, Raiders don't play Raiders, and ultimately, like, we're all going to be pulling in the same direction. And I think, just going against each other, going against a good defense like we have, is going to make us better, and we've gotten better so far too.
I want to ask you one more, but just kind of like, not without recording. The fact that it is like this, like, you go back to old school, how it wasn't always like this. Right. That wasn't always preached, like togetherness and camaraderie. Is that, you recall those days?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's always been different approaches, but I feel like the good teams, they understand the common goal, and that's what we do here, which is very clear to me.
Yeah, it seems like that. Obviously, I get good teams around the league, the ones that are together, and I think a lot of people poke fun when we talk about, hey, these guys are, a united front.
Right.
People think that's cheesy or whatever, but like, it makes a difference.
Yeah, and everybody, a lot of people try to say that, but like, you live it. You gotta kind of live it, and and I'm seeing it.
Yeah, for sure, firsthand.
So cool.
I'm jumping in. Sorry, I got in here late. Do you see, because you have two different styles of quarterback, with someone uses his legs, and excuse me if this has been asked already, and Aiden's using maybe more traditional pocket passer, does that open up the possibility that we may be seeing both quarterbacks show up in games this year?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just know that the beauty of the offense is the flexibility can play to either play style, and I think that the way Luke has constructed this, I think that we've been able to do that for both guys. It doesn't mean that either you're going to be asked to do things no matter what, but I do think in the end you're all about your players and adapting to their skill set. I will say I've been very pleased with Aiden's mobility. It's exceeded my expectations from the day I got here. He's an incredibly accurate thrower on the run, and I think that's a healthy part of what we need to do offensively to be successful. It's a big part of the system, so I'm excited about that too.
Impressed you, or even surprised you, I guess, in a positive way about Gardner's skill set?
I'd heard some really good things about his personality and his mindset, but no, I mean, he has a great feel for football. He knows how to play the game in critical situations. It's not too big. Like he's relaxed and he just lets it flow. So those things are such an important part of maxing out your ability. I think that's why he's become so valuable in this league and why he's valuable to us in this organization. And that has rubbed off on other players, and it's helped Aiden too, has far less experience.
And as the evaluation during preseason games compared to what you can see out here, even on a night where you're going to scrimmage, for you guys to evaluate as to who's going to be top?
Again, how you approach preseason and all that is a component of this evaluation process. But I believe it's the total product of work that you have to go by, and you don't want to get swayed because you make the right play call on the right play, and a guy hits a big play, and it's like, oh, he threw for this and that. I think you have to look at it all, but how they function when they're on their own in those situations, it makes a difference. But I think Aiden proved at the end of last season that what he did as a rookie, he's got some real moxie and just, I don't know, those qualities that it's not too big for him. Like, he was thrown in the fire, asked to do a lot, and with all the dynamics of what was going on in the organization, I thought he did a great job. And then obviously Gardner's played a bunch in this league, so you know what you're getting in him already.
Not alone with the rookies, though. It's been some bad performances when we heard.
You know what? I don't want to turn this into American Idol because I don't think I would do any better. Some guys are bringing it better than others. We'll just say that. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate it.
Sorry for coming at the tail end, but can you just – there's something about the tight ends within this offense that these always find a way to get open, whether it's Brock or Mayer or the middle. Like, what do you think are so, vital in them getting open in this offense?
Yeah, that can be a variety of things, a lot of different factors. To me, the first thing, being productive in the pass game, is being able to identify coverage. So, if we're getting zone coverage, it's really having an instinct and a feel of where the void in the zone is. And then when we get in kind of man or match coverage, it's working that route craft. The guys I coach are such great athletes, and they got so much natural ability and athleticism that they're able to use that. They're able to use their speed, their quickness, their play strength to play through contact. They've done a good job so far through camp, being able to create separation. Our quarterbacks are extremely accurate, so that makes it easy for us as receivers and tight ends. But really happy with what they've done in the pass game so far. Still not where we need to be when the season starts, but the growth that I've seen in that regard from the offseason through training camp, I think we're right on track to where we're supposed to be.
Something that Mike Mayer said a couple of days ago is within this offense and all the motions the tight ends do, it's kind of like you always have like a man zone kind of situation going on where you can kind of get that read. How is it important, especially for a guy like Brock Bowers with that speed, to have those man-on-man opportunities to burn somebody?
Sure, yeah. I mean, we certainly like to move around before the ball's snapped. A lot of times that helps us gather a lot of pre-snap information and forces the defense to show what they're trying to do, and hopefully all of us on offense are collecting that information and using it to our benefit. It's our job as coaches to create the best matchups we can. I've been around, this is my second year with Luke Steckel, one of the smartest coaches I've been around. He's extremely creative. So his ability to find those matchups for your players, using their skill set, getting them in the right situation, in the right spot to go do what they do best, is something he's always been great at. So looking forward to watching him and us collectively as a coaching staff do that this year. And fortunately for me, some of the guys in my room are really good athletes, and there's a lot of different ways we can use them. So I'll just try to stay out of the way and let them go do their thing.
Someone that kind of gets overshadowed a little bit, because of Brock and Michael, is Harrison. What would you say he brings, as well as his blocking and other things that he does within his room?
Harrison's an extremely versatile player, and he's had a fantastic training camp. I don't want to call it a surprise because the expectation's always been there for us. He's just lived up to the expectations and exceeded them. I mean, when the pads have gone on, you've seen that physical aspect of his game get turned up a notch, which is what you expect from everyone in training camp, right? It's going to be a little more physical than we had in the offseason, probably more physical than the practices you're going to have during the regular season. You don't shy away from contact. He's a tough, physical player. He's an extremely versatile guy, extremely smart, conscientious player. He knows what to do. He knows what all 11 guys on offense have to do. And that gives me as a coach a lot of confidence in him to plug him in at any single spot, in any single situation. And he really goes out there, executes, and he's had a great camp so far.
Hey, Luke, Omar Ruiz, NFL Network. Nice to meet you too, man. Obviously, you've been with Luke Steckel, and would you say that because of the talent you have in your room currently, the playbook has been tweaked and adjusted because of that? Or do you think just the plays that are in there in that 12 personnel will get called more? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, the nice thing about the system we have is a lot of times we try to practice our base concepts, right? We're trying to figure out what we execute the best. And formationally, we can move guys around. But a lot of times we don't teach concepts as, all right, this is a 12 personnel play with 2 tight ends in the game, or this is 11 with just 1 tight end. A lot of times we're going to learn the concepts knowing that could be 11, 12, or even 13 with 3 tight ends in there. So really it's knowing what we're good at. You know, I'm blessed to coach a really versatile room where some of our guys can go execute and run the route tree like other receivers might. So really, I wouldn't say we've tweaked it. It's just knowing, that's what training camp's for, finding out what guys do best and then plugging them into those spots.
Because of their athleticism, would you say that maybe they've learned more receiver routes, receiver roles within the offense, your group?
Yeah, definitely. In some regard, you spend a little more time on certain routes that you probably wouldn't with other tight end groups. You cover it, but maybe you cover it quickly, knowing that it's probably not going to come up that often for us. This year, with some of the guys we have, the likelihood of them running those routes is probably a little higher than years I've had previously, which is a lot of fun for a coach. You get to coach a wide variety of stuff. But we ask our tight ends to do a lot in this offense, whether it's the run game, the pass game, pass protection, the motions and shifts that we talked about, moving around. So it's a versatile group. It's a smart group. They know what to do, and that's my objective. If they know what to do, they can go out, play fast, play free, and then just use their God-given ability to go execute.
Pad's been on for a few practices. Anything jump out at you about Brock's game? That you've seen the more physical side of him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a strong guy. He's a strong guy. When he's got the ball in his hands as a runner, when he's asked to block as a pass protector in the run game, he's a strong guy. People get enamored with his speed and athleticism and quickness, and don't fall asleep on his play strength, because he'll come hit you, and so will all the other guys in our room. I told him the other day it's a compliment to them. They're all tough and they're physical. Their toughness, I had nothing to do with it. The people that signed them or drafted them or recruited them had nothing to do with that. That's something that comes from the heart, and every single one of them to a man is tough, and it makes my job a lot of fun, a lot easier to coach 6 guys in our room that don't shy away from contact and love the physical nature of the game, which is pretty cool.
Look for it.
No doubt. We talk about seeking contact rather than avoiding it, and just craving a violent nature, right? This is a violent game, and there's some people that run from that violent nature, and there's some guys that are attracted to it, and I think the guys in our room are attracted to that and love that part of the game.
Oh! You too, man. That's good.
Sorry, guys, keep going.
I was just going to say, with that being said, I mean, not trying to compare and contrast, but when you look at Brock Bowers and where he has, compared to the regular rookie that you see coming in, where would you say he's on par with? Is he advanced? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly has some physical traits that a lot of guys don't have coming out of college, and that's a fun player to coach for someone like me. But I talk about this, and not to be a broken record. When Brock's name is brought up, the first thing I think about is the person. Like, does he have some superior or rare physical traits? Absolutely. But his personal traits and his character is superior as well. His work ethic is unbelievable. His humility is unbelievable. His teammates enjoy being around him. He enjoys being around his teammates. He comes with a professional approach every single day that's well beyond his years of being a rookie. And it just makes my job easy. I'm going to help him in his professional career, but I told him sometimes, don't let me overcoach things, right? When it's time for me to stay out of the way, I need to stay out of the way. Let him go play fast, play free, and go do his thing. Because he does have some rare traits, but we try to remind him, we're still going into week 1. Everyone's undefeated at this point in the season, so life is good. He's going to get up there, and there's going to be guys at this level that can cover him a little better than what he was used to in college, and I think he's up to the challenge, though.